You're welcome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tellman and Fellman Show. I didn't say the Tellman and Fellman Show, episode 48. Thanks so much for watching. We're being joined by Jason Parker. Of course, my name is Harris Fellman, and that other guy over there.
I'm Tellman Knutson. Welcome to Tellman and Fellman. Jason Parker, part 2. Welcome back.
Yeah, so I was talking to Jason and talking to him a little bit about maybe promoting automatic audience, and he's like, I don't really have a list and or an audience for that. So, but I was also talking to him about he's launched a podcast with Charles Kirkland, and I was being a 56-year-old man and like I can't find it. Where's it? It's not in Apple iTunes. I don't know. Anyway, I figured out where I could find it. I think I got it on Spotify or something. And yeah, anyway, and I'm super interested in his content and all. He was on the show, I don't know, a couple weeks ago talking about AI stuff, and then he brought up on his last pod with Charles, but then also with me, Black Friday's coming up,
Yes, it
and
is.
what are you doing about it? I'd love to get on your show, and I'd be happy to get on your show and talk about it to you and your audience. So yeah, I'm gonna real quickly just read the intro that he wrote us. Black Friday's right around the corner, and it could be the most profitable 7 to 10 day campaign of the year for your company. Jason Parker has strategized and executed multi-million-dollar Black Friday campaigns multiple times over the last few years. Today, we're talking about why and how you should pull off a Black Friday campaign next month, no matter what vertical you're in. No matter what vertical you're in. All
All
right,
right.
let's hear
Right.
that. So, hey, Jason, thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Black Friday is usually the most profitable campaign of the year for clients I work with, and it's only because people are in rabid buying mode, and that's the only reason why. And it's even working in places like Italy now, because last year we helped a client who had a trading company or a trading software company in Italy do their best campaign of all time. Their highest grossing front end sort of sale of all time. They brought in a ton of leads and hundreds of thousands of dollars or euros. uh, Over there. So I mean, it's growing even in Italy and whatnot. Even though it's
I mean, if
related to
it's growing in
Thanksgiving over
Italy,
there.
it can grow anywhere, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, no, I mean the point is like I've lived in Spain for the last 8 years. I'm in London now. I presume they have Black Friday here, but they probably don't have Thanksgiving here.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's more like I don't even know
They
if
don't
they
have
know.
Thanksgiving anywhere else in the world, but so I think Americans, we think of, well, Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
it stands alone now.
Right.
Internationally, it's basically it's the day that the whole world has massive sales. So
It's
yeah,
Global Sale Day.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. One question I had before we dove in was your clients over the years, have they all been, have any of them been digital products, or have they all been e-com? I mean, e-com, 1000%, get it. It
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
makes sense.
sure.
And so I'm curious about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I said the last November we did. I've pretty much been in financial over the last year or so, and after that, but it was all related to financial trading, digital information, and software, and these things called VI Diamond VIP clubs. They like to sell these Diamond VIP clubs in that space. But before that, we did. I was doing ecom, so absolutely in the sexual health space, we did like over 3 million with a Black Friday campaign, one year with
You
that.
mean Blue Friday?
Yeah, exactly.
Sexual health?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it was this weird at home medical device. So
Okay.
we sold, but like it's worked in every vertical we've tried it in, just because of the fact that people are
I
buying.
so want to go down the tangent of what this is, but let's not.
We
Um,
could, yeah.
Okay, so you've seen, and then you must be in contact with other people in your similar position, masterminds and stuff like that say similar things. Yeah.
I would say that people largely ignore it in certain verticals, and that's kind of why I want to talk to you guys, really. And I'm not selling it. I'm booked up. I don't have any capacity to help anybody else at this point,
Yeah. No, you
right
want to
now.
help
So,
them
like,
by
that's
saying,
not.
"Hey, it's a month out. Pay attention."
Yeah, and it's not has nothing to do with like selling you anything right now with this, except for just doing it because it's going to roll around, and and you're gonna wish you had put something better together for it.
What's the date on it?
This year it
I
changes
coulda
by
looked
a
that
few
up
days.
too, it's okay.
Black Friday. I know I just built a campaign, but I'm trying to think of what it is. It might be the 26th or so.
Okay, great, we've got a whole
Day
month if it is.
is on 2024. I'm sorry, it's 29th this year. Yeah, it shifts around like 3 days or so.
So I've got all
Mhm.
sorts of ideas running through my head, already, but, not for myself, for one of my clients and then for Tellman. But let's dig into why it's so important and how could it possibly be, how could you make the statement that it's good for, all verticals?
Yeah, it's just funny because people in their own vertical tend to copy other people in their vertical, and they don't believe
Right.
anything that will work outside of their vertical. And it really goes back to the old Jay Abraham thing: just borrow things from other verticals, and it will work for you. I mean, that's what he preached a long time ago. Remember that book he wrote called "Getting Everything You Can Out of All You've Got" or something like that.
Yeah.
Remember
Hmm.
that book? I think he was preaching that sort of thing, and that was opened my eyes to that sort of philosophy. But because people will stay in their own vertical and copy each other, but it doesn't mean they shouldn't copy something from another vertical.
Right.
Because the reason why Black Friday works is because people are in buying mode. It doesn't have to do with anything vertical specific. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
So what are kind of the components to it? And you mentioned earlier everybody's kind of in a buying frenzy, but I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I'll be honest, I've had traffic for me for I don't know, 10, 11 years, and this is kind of the beginning of the I don't buy as much traffic season for us. There's a little spout here and there, but now as I'm talking, I'm like, okay, now that I've got a month to think about it, instead of just having yet another 50-cent sale or something like that, um,
Yeah.
maybe I should make it like, okay, we're gonna give you a year's worth of traffic for
Black
$500 or
Friday
whatever.
traffic blowout.
Right, right.
I'll say it should be your best deal that you make all year because that's what
More
people are
traffic
looking
than
for.
you can shake a stick at.
That's right. Hordes and hordes, I guess they used to
So
say.
so so like okay, so I'm doing work with Warrior Plus. They're what they are. They're a digital
Uh-huh.
marketplace. They've got hundreds of products. I don't know what they've done in the past. I know that I don't know if they've done something for I think they've done something for Black Friday in the past, and I know that they've done like product bundles.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what we haven't started talking about it yet, actually. So what sort of I guess it's just like come up with the best ideal idea of the year. You guys try it. You guys try idea of the year.
Idea of the year, Harris. Idea of the year.
Ah,
I'm just gonna say
idea
idea, so I
of
don't
the
want to say it.
year. Yeah.
The
As
idea
they
of
say
the
in
year.
South
God
Carolina.
damn it. Um.
I'll tell you. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what I think about this. So, we're just talking about the offer element here, not even about the campaign or anything like that. But typically, what works best is discount. Obviously, if you can't give a discount on something because you don't want to lower prices, if you're coaching or something like that, you don't have to. Um, the best is actually discount plus bonus. That's the best offer you can give right now. But between discount and bonus, discount beats bonus. But if you can't possibly offer a discount, then offer a bonus. You know what I mean? Like depending on your costs and things like that. But just have something together. But yeah, slashing prices is always going to outconvert like bonus. But discount plus bonus. There's different ways to actually play with this throughout the campaign itself too, and with different bonuses and whatnot, because you actually have early Black Friday, you have Black Friday, and you have Cyber Monday, which is really like sub campaigns within this campaign, if that makes sense. So and early Black Friday, if you really want to squeeze the most out of it, do a few
Uh,
days before, 3-day campaign, and then Black Friday 3 days, and then Cyber Monday 3 days, and they should
you
all be
froze.
slightly
Sorry, you
different.
you
Maybe they
you
have the
froze.
same.
You froze a little bit. You were getting into the
Sorry about
campaign,
that.
which I think is the meat of what you wanted to talk about.
Okay,
Um,
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
yeah, we hear you fine.
Cool.
It was just for a second that you
So
froze.
Gotcha.
figure out what your offer is going to be. You're saying, at least a bonus. Hopefully you can do a discount plus a bonus.
Yeah, and it's really 3 sub campaigns within a campaign. It's the only time of the year where, like, versus Christmas or New Year's or anything like that, it's the only time of the year where you can really play with urgency in sub campaigns. So think about it like this: there's early Black Friday, which is a few days, like 3 days, and then Black Friday, which is 3 days, and then Cyber Monday, which is a few days. It's usually Monday, but it gets extended a couple days. So that's really 3 different campaigns. Now, if you really want to spike sales 3 different times, at the end of those 3 days, what you do is you just have like a different bonus for each of those days, you know? Like, so early Black Friday, this is ending, but it gives you an opportunity to really play on urgency within 48-hour increments. You know what I'm saying? You can say tomorrow it's coming down, and then today it's coming down, and then you go right back into a sub campaign for Black Friday. Tomorrow it's coming down. Today it's coming down. Tonight it's coming down, and then you go into a Cyber Monday. So it's the only time of the year where you're able to do that.
Are you suggesting 3 separate offers?
Slightly. So let's say you have maybe the same discount for each of them, but you have a different bonus that you stack for each one.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Or a different bonus for each one, or a different discount for each one, but just you slightly vary them though. You know.
Sorry, what are the 3 campaigns? I did Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and
there's early Black Friday.
Early Black Friday.
Early.
Yeah, that's a part of as part of the sub campaign. Now. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
And you can extend it beyond that too, but you have to give a good reason why, like beyond the whole thing. So I know some of you guys have been traveling this year, so I'm gonna extend this campaign for 2 days, just to be fair, right?
Right.
And so Harris, you said you had a couple ideas for Black Friday promotions.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I already mentioned for Warrior Plus. That's the client I was thinking about. They definitely. I know they've done that in the past, and I think now is a good time to start really planning it all out. And then with you, I was thinking, maybe you could offer. You haven't really offered coaching in a long time. Like one-on-one coaching, and this kind of gives you a reason to offer coaching with a bonus. You've got so many products you could, that are still relevant. That obviously some stuff is 20 years old. You're not going to offer that necessarily, but maybe you would. But you could make all sorts of bundle packages and stuff like that, and just really go after it. It could be
It's true.
That's what I initially was
Cool.
thinking for you. I guess I could be thinking the same thing for me as well. But even just to pick up a couple of coaching clients might be cool. But I don't do that. You have an ongoing, weekly already. So
that's very true. That's cool. That's a great idea. Jason, how are you using AI with your Black Friday promotions? Because I would expect maybe you are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. At this time of the year in general, because I'll tell you, it's really it's the most profitable time of the year for generally, unless there's been anomalies in the past where like April will suddenly be the most profitable time of the year. But for me, it's usually November, December because and I've built AI bots and things to help me crank out these campaigns really fast with Black Friday and then going into Christmas and then going into New Year's, because New Year's is another huge one.
New Year's is another one.
Yeah, absolutely. But let me tell you this about Black Friday real quick. There's another layer to it. So we're talking about 3 campaigns basically, but it's also you can run on 2 tracks, and this works really well for Black Friday. This is why you have to start early, because you have these sub campaigns that are kind of hard and difficult to pull off, and then you have 2 tracks. So it just means pretty much the same campaign, slightly altered on 2 different tracks. One track is going to your old customers, like your best customers, and it's they're getting a better deal than everybody else, slightly better, maybe $10 extra off. You know what I'm saying? They know it though. You're playing on the exclusivity trigger with that one track, and then everybody else is on another track. If that makes sense. Every prospect is on a track where they get the standard deal.
So you give them a coupon or something, maybe?
Something just a little better. I mean, and play off that exclusivity.
Yeah, extra bonus, extra discount.
Yeah. So they feel special,
Yeah. And you call it out on the letter or
they got to know it. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So that's
cool.
another way.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that totally makes sense. Interesting. And so, I mean, do you have more detail to go in on how all this works, or where's your head at, Jason?
Yeah, it's if you look at it like 3 sub campaigns, you can see 3 spikes. You can visually kind of see that when you're playing with scarcity, and then you're running on 2 tracks. Those are the 2 main things in terms of the campaign structure itself. It's also a good time of the year to generate a ton of leads because you're about to convert them, so you can afford to maybe crank up your lead flow right now because you're about to send them into your gauntlet, your 3 sales spike gauntlet.
That's right.
That
That's
makes
right.
sense.
That's cool. Yeah, it does make sense.
Perfect. It's a great time of the year if you know how to play it. I'm telling you, start right now because it's right around the corner. So
Cool. Cool. Harris, do you have more Black Friday questions, or because like
I guess I should have
I
prepared more or
definitely have
something.
a
I
question.
mean, he's just oversimplified it. We could
No,
just
no, yeah, I'm like, wow, well, that's simple. Well, I mean, like, I see, no, Novus, Novus. I don't think that was there before. Is that have you named your AI?
yeah, this my company with David Garfinkel and Scott Zetlin is called Novus AI.
Oh,
So that's.
cool.
But I have a few different companies. I just went with that one today.
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
And
Well,
you yeah, go ahead, Tellman.
well, so what are you doing with AI around Black Friday stuff? Like, what's the, what's the magic that's happening
I
behind
mean,
the
I
scenes?
guess you've already done the
Campaign.
thing is you've already done the work. You've already done the hard work, so you've got that AI, but like for people listening, right? Like
Yeah.
what might they be able to do with it to help them
Uh,
get it done?
a few years ago, I'll just kind of go back for a second. When I was working with Launch Medical, we did 34 million in a year, and the biggest year, the biggest month of the year was around this time. But I was VP of sales, and I had a whole writing team under me. So now though, I just have AI under me, if that makes sense. But all this
Yeah.
stuff I'm talking about requires a ton of copy, like 100 pages. That's why you have to start now. But because you're talking about, if we're talking about cranking up lead flow, we have a ton of ads to crank up lead flow starting now, and then we have a ton of ads that are early Black Friday specific and Black Friday specific and Cyber Money specific. And then we have a ton of email campaigns, or just, you have 2-track email campaigns, because you have one email campaign going on one track with a little bit separate deal in 3 different instances. And then you have track 2 emails. So it's a ton of copy. But obviously AI is just what you leverage now to do it. You used to have whole writing teams to get it
Right,
together.
right.
Mm.
So, okay, well, so when you're planning out a project like this, you're talking about the 3 segments, right? And then the 2 tracks in each segment. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So that's and how roughly for each of the 3 days, each of the 3 segments, how many emails are going out?
I would say you can do it like this. Depends on how aggressive you want to be. You should be insanely
Yeah,
aggressive
but
this time of
if
the year.
you're following the Jason Parker Black
Yeah.
Friday master plan.
If you were doing it, it'd be 2 emails a day. If you wanted to be actually 2 emails a day, except for on the third day, do 3. So the
Okay,
third day of
okay.
each one, but
So 2 emails a
not
day,
uncomfortable.
right? So that's times 9 days,
Mhm.
right? So we got 18 emails plus the extra. Um, yeah, it's a crap load of emails, right? So
2
you're
tracks.
talking about like
Yeah, yeah,
40
yeah.
emails or something, and then it's what, like 3 sales pages?
Slightly different. So with the
Actually,
sales
6 because
pages,
you have to do different tracks.
you have to have designers on board, because you have ones doing early Black Friday design, and you have ones doing Black Friday design and Cyber Monday design. So really, you just want to you could just take like a banner or a header graphic or something like that and put it at the top of the page, but it
Okay,
should say early Black Friday or Black Friday and Cyber Mondays. But you also have to have developers coordinating with you on it, these days. That's why it's kind of tricky, and you need to start now.
yeah,
Because
no, I mean, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, right?
What if you're a little smaller and a little more not up not as on top of AI as you, or even let's be honest, like I'm just gonna jump in and put it
Mhm.
in ChatGPT and
Yeah,
or rearrange it a bit. It won't be as good as probably what you've got as a starting point.
you can
But
do it.
what's the baseline with I mean, I guess the baseline is at least do Black Friday and a change for Cyber Monday with 1 track, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
Yeah, I
then
mean,
that's a
do
lot.
at least do Black Friday on one track. I mean, at the very least. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no matter what, do a strong Black Friday, but then, like, if you can get it together, do the 3
Yeah.
3-day campaigns, which is one of the most powerful campaigns that I ever do. It's a 4-day campaign.
Mhm.
It's an old formula of, like, it's going on now. It's going on. It's 2 more
You're
days.
talking
It's
about
Yeah. So
Kern's 4-day cash machine. That
probably
that was so. I did that so many times. That was
I've
a crusher. Yeah.
I've probably done it this year. You know.
Um. Cool. So I know you were talking about your mastermind last time, Jason. Is that
Mhm.
still open for people to join? Can they
Oh
get
yeah,
access to your AI that does all
yeah,
this in there, or like what's
sure.
what's the deal?
Yeah, actually, yesterday I had a class. So we do it once a week. We meet once a week. We've been going on since I think like April or something like this year. So it's been going on every week since April, and all these bots we build every week are just given away. Given everybody. So I don't know how many we're up to now. Maybe like hundreds or something like that. But
Oh, giving them if they're in the mastermind.
yeah, if they're in there, we're building them together, and it's become more of a mastermind. It was a master class to begin with, but then tons of big names started joining, and I was like, well, these are people I learned from 10 years ago, so
Right.
I'm not gonna pretend like I'm better than them or something like that. I'm like, it's officially a mastermind now.
Right.
Uh,
What's the
So
where can people
that's
go to find
Jason.
out
That's
about
on
that?
jasonparker.com, right?
JasonParker.ai. There's a link to join at the top of
Sorry,
there.
.ai.
Yeah.
.ai. Silly me. It's not. It's got to be .ai. Um, and then they can also go to, well, yeah, just put that in jasonparker.ai. And then I know I don't know if Tellman knows, but I mentioned earlier you've got a podcast with Charles Kirkland.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? Why did you decide to do that? And what's that about?
Charles, mainly because Charles is just so knowledgeable about everything that's going on. He seems to have the knowledge on whatever's happening in the world, and I'm like, he's perfect for doing this. And he's been my buddy and business partner for a long time, and and even before that, we did joint ventures 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's so knowledgeable at that sort of thing. It's honestly, I wanted to be able to get on with him once a week and say what's going on in the internet marketing world, and it's sort of like a newsworthy thing because every time I talk to him, he knows what's going on. Like I know there's things he can't even say, but I don't know how he
Yeah,
has the
no, there's
confidence
some
to do
people that are really, really good at having their finger on the pulse of like the news,
Yeah,
like all the
that's how
all the
he
goings
is.
on
Yeah.
in a given market or area. That's cool. Or like an
Yeah.
antenna,
So I like
right?
to keep up to date, especially with AI and everything too. I don't know if he has his pulse on that, but I want to know what's going on in the marketing world so I don't get left behind in every kind of way. So that's one reason.
Yeah.
That's
I for
cool.
myself to do it, but I mean, it's a cool authority thing too. Just being like, yeah, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Audible, I'm on Amazon Music, and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
And was it that's just pretty much an RSS feed and signing up for stuff, right? To get it
If you
on
get
a
actually, I built this on Captivate FM. So Captivate FM allows you to distribute this through all the everything like it's like Spotify. It's a podcast hosting, and you just load up like an MP3 of your episodes. You could probably take all these episodes of what you guys have and load it up and get on Spotify.
Yeah, there's so much more that we could do that we're working toward doing. But yeah, this is episode 48 and we don't have it as a podcast yet, right? We didn't even set up its own unique YouTube channel for it yet. We're just broadcasting onto our
Yeah,
personal stuff. So we're like consistent enough and doing it enough that we're starting to get all these things set up.
you have so much
But
content though. Like you could take. Do you guys know what Opus Clips is?
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So you could just take all your episodes, put the Facebook link to your video into there, and it'll chop
yeah.
it up into like 20.
Yeah, and have a crap load of like 10 clips for every episode instantly,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Well, I'm concerned. Like at least I guess it wasn't Opus. I played with it with Descript, and it doesn't like this format. Like I don't know how to like. So I feel
Mm.
like I might have to have it. I don't know if you can tell it to only focus on one person or something. Like I don't know how
Opus,
Opus Clips work.
Opus
you
does
can
a
do it
pretty
different.
good Yeah, Opus does a pretty good job of figuring it out on its own.
Well, you could do it 9 by 16 or 16 by 9. So it's like you could do it in the exact frame it looks like right
Oh,
now
okay.
that we're looking at,
Okay.
if you want to.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah, and then I could just edit the ones a little bit if I really wanted to edit them for that. But
Mhm.
I guess personally, I just like the ones that are like this in a phone.
So I did too, yeah.
Yeah. I got to
But
go to the
yeah,
bathroom. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
you're good.
All right. Well, while Harris is going to the bathroom, I'm going to ask a very important question so he doesn't get a chance to hear it. So we can totally circle back to Black Friday.
Mhm.
However, since you're an amazing copywriter, we launched a sales letter that converted pretty well to our lists, but did not convert pretty well to a couple other lists.
Uh-huh.
And as it was not a home, it's definitely not a home run out of the gate. And I was wondering if you have done anything with using AI to analyze a sales letter and then
Yeah.
improve it. Basically, use not just, hey, give me 10 headlines to split test, but actually get advice from
Yeah.
AI based on what it's learned in order
Uh-huh.
to then give you the advice and then give you the things to test. Do you have any
Yeah.
experience with this? So, and how to
Really?
use AI to um, fix a campaign that is not crushing it that you thought was going to crush
I'll tell
it?
you. Yeah, it's not really me, but it's Scott Zellin and David Garfinkel. So they've
Yeah.
both built really great AIs that will do that. So Scott specifically is a CRO expert. That's kind of what he does. He has CRO software that will give you like 2,000 split tests and like
Hold
the
on,
time it
hold
would
on.
take
What
you to
is
do one campaign.
CRO?
Conversion rate optimization. Just
Conversion rate optimization. Yeah, yeah, okay, great.
yeah, he's an expert at that, and he's he's one of the founders of or the owners of Novus and everything, but he's in the mastermind creating those kind of things because his company is always split testing everything. So it will analyze a page. You can even take an image of a page and it'll analyze images that are on the page, even like
Right.
all the way down the page, and it will go through his criteria for analyzing the page and from top to bottom the way he does it, and it will tell you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
pretty neat.
Cool. I was asking Jason about AI solutions to improve sales conversion, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
if they've had, if
Does
rather
it
than just, hey,
so
give me
like
some split tests,
something
but actually, really thoughtful.
is AI able to pick up on like what's highlighted and what's not, what's yellow and
Mhm.
white text
Yeah.
and stuff like that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because you can take like Scott, the CRO expert, who's one of the founders of Novus. So he created one that you can take an image of the whole page and then feed that to AI, and it
Yeah.
can. It's AI has gotten very good at analyzing images,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
knows all the words, it knows all the highlighting. It can understand the video on your or the images on your page and stuff like that. Not the whole video because
Cool.
it's just an image, but you know what I'm
Okay.
saying.
And that's not for sale. That's only in the like or
It's
is
just
that
one of the bots in the mastermind. Yeah, just one of the 100 bots.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so whenever we invent something, like if he invents something, he'll do a whole class on it, or I'll invent something and I'll do a whole class on it. But everybody gets it at the end of the class, week to week.
So, in the last few weeks, like, what's one of the more interesting, engaging, like bots or either bots you've created or topics that you've covered that really like caught your imagination? Whether it was you want something you brought up or what something
Yeah,
somebody else brought to the table.
writing a lot of created a lot of hook writing kind of bots, the headline and hook writing bots, because I always need the angle before I even start on anything. Always go. But then I have so many that just give you like matrices of benefits and things that break things down. I
Right.
always need tons and tons of that. Like I need all the future pacing. I need all the social benefits and the practical benefits and the identity benefits and the grandchildren of those benefits. Like just keep on going. And I need the symptoms of the pain. Like I need to know what that pain looks like in their life. So I have so many AIs that I've built that will just break all this stuff down for you. It's kind of like Clayton Makepeace back in the day would say he would use this method called so that. So you'd be like, you get this benefit so that you get this benefit so that
Right.
you get this benefit. So we taught AI how to do that, and it creates big charts of this stuff, like
Oh, cool.
so that this, so that this, and with pain too. So like, you used to have to kind of like just kick back in your imagination with your hands behind your head and think about what it would be like to own this product or something like that. But now
Right.
AI kind of just does all that for you instead of having to do it, and you can pick and choose or just turn it in or just feed it into something else that will create the copy.
So one of the things that we've been doing is discovering what this show is all about, right? As we've been doing all these episodes, we jumped in at my insistence and just started interviewing old marketing friends, and then we thought about other old marketing friends, and then we've been introduced to some new marketing friends of friends, and
Mhm.
so we've had some new people on that have been around like less than 20 years, but we've had a lot of marketing OGs on. And as we've begun to
Tons.
discover more about what the show is all about and where we're going with it, other than just like reliving old marketing memories and having these nostalgic trips down
Right.
memory lane or whatever, which is cool. Um, I think one of the things that we're discovering about the show is that we're really interested in how we can grow our show, right?
Cool.
And so, Jason, with everything that you're doing with AI and copywriting right now, you know, there's as a marketer and entrepreneur, I'm sure a ton of advice you could give us on how we could grow our show, but specifically with your special sauce, with your magic, with the stuff that you're doing inside this mastermind with AI and copywriting, what do you see? Harris and I are the show is a startup. We're trying to make it the core of the business because we're consistently doing it every day and really enjoy it. Absolutely bootstrapped. And so from your perspective, this is for us, but it's also for our viewers, right?
Yeah.
How can we use what you've got, what you're doing, what you're working on to grow our audience and grow the show that we're working on here? Like, what do you see as some immediate opportunity?
I don't know in terms of the bots that I've built, because I'm a copywriter, so I write the copywriting bots, I create the copywriting bots. It's kind of my interest, but I can see so much opportunity because you have so much content now, like with Opus clips and just blasting out those. You have enough reels probably or you could have hundreds and hundreds of reels to where you're blasting out like 8 a day on a schedule automatically.
Well, we already have 48 shows.
Yeah.
To start with, and we're doing one 5 days a week, so we already could be putting out more than 10 a day.
We should pause. We should go on hiatus after episode 50 and then figure out how to repurpose all of it in the same amount of time that we were doing it. That's what we should do, right, Jason?
I would.
No hiatus. There's no hiatus.
But I'm trying to just meet you guys in the middle here. Like,
yeah, I know.
I don't want to piss off you guys.
We're gonna start doing 7 days a week. 2 shows.
He wants it now. I jokingly said, let's do it 2 days. I want to do it 2 days, twice a day, 7 days a week. He's like, I would do that.
Great. I'm down.
Sure, it's fun, but we gotta.
Well, no, but seriously, Jason, like, for someone that is producing regular content and whether they're a YouTuber, whether they're streaming on Facebook, wherever they're streaming, they're producing regular video content. Maybe they're monologuing, maybe it's a 2-person interview thing, whatever. And hey, maybe it's even a more edited YouTube style video, whatever. But how could you use copywriting bots to grow your show? Like, I agree with you, there is enormous opportunity with Opus and other related things, but how could someone?
But that's it. That's part of it. That's strategy number one is putting that content out there and people coming back to something.
Chopping it up like that. I mean, for video, yeah. I'd say I'm talking like Mike Tyson all of a sudden, but I would say
you're talking like Mike Tyson.
I'll say, yeah, it sounded like Mike Tyson for a second there. But anyway, what I would do personally, and this just came to me, is I would transcribe everything with AI because it could just easily be transcribed. Yep. And then I would create like a book that has the knowledge of everybody's best secrets in it, and then it's written by Kevin Nations and everybody who's been on here, and have them all promote it.
Dude, like have AI distill the best nugget, the best nuggets from each interview.
Yeah, like write a chapter on this. Like you create the transcript.
And then the bonus could be the original transcripts for anybody that really wants to dig deep. You can get all 10,000 pages of original transcripts.
But actually, the reason why I say it is you leverage everybody's resources. They'll be like, I'm in a book. You know what I mean? Of course, they'll promote it somewhere.
That's right. No, that's I was trying to figure out how we could. I realized, with all these episodes, we have all the faces of everyone we've interviewed. So there's over 40 people. So that's a lot like a summit type promotion, except it's, at least in its current form, not a summit. So doing it in a book, a co-authored book that we create from the interviews is great. I have a question for both of you that I've been curious about recently. With books, long books in particular, what have you found? Maybe Jason, you have the answer. What have you found to be the best tool for actually compiling a long book? Is it Google Docs? Because my experience with Google Docs is after you get a Google Doc to a certain length, it becomes very janky and clunky and difficult to navigate.
Ah,
And then there are definitely software programs out there designed for authors and screenplay writers. But in your experience, writing like
mhm.
creating long content books, what's the answer?
Well, in this case, I mean, just this, I guess it'd be a case by case basis, but in this case, you just have each of these calls transcribed, and that would become one document. Feed the document into AI that writes the chapter, take that chapter, put it in a document. So it's not like you would have to have like a 1,000-page document. You just have a lot of different transcripts that you feed in. Each
Mhm.
each transcript would be one document that you feed into AI and say, write this
Yeah,
chapter,
yeah.
or summarize this. I have a book bot too that does a pretty good job on this kind of stuff that we give
And then
to
outputting it
people.
so that it looks like a book.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'll write chapter like let's say it's 50 chapters, 50 episodes, something like that.
Yeah,
Like you feed each transcript into one by one into the book writer. It jams out a chapter based on that one
Yeah,
transcript.
that makes
yeah,
Have
sense.
a do one manual pass on it or whatever it is. Stick it in the book, and I would use just someone on Upwork to format the book after.
right.
That's
Yeah.
it, and they'll create the table of contents for you and everything. But they do,
No,
they got
that's
a
a
couple
great
things.
idea. No, I mean that and so
Do it in a day.
the first 50. What's that?
You can do it in a day. In
Yeah,
a day.
yeah, really good, really good. I love that. What a great idea, Jason. What are you actually as a business owner, as an entrepreneur? What are you struggling with right now? What are you having a hard time with? Um, I mean, there's a lot going right. It sounds like, especially with AI continually on the rise and copywriting and
Yeah.
the whole copywriting industry being shaken up by AI. And people losing their jobs, like very very real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are lots of copywriters that are losing their jobs to AI, or things are shifting anyway.
Yeah. I
And so, yeah, what are you seeing?
Of course, I mean, I have up and down months like everybody, but I would say I was kind of born for this period, this particular period of marketing.
Seems
Like, I
so.
don't know. Yeah, I was just like by luck, by stroke of luck, I was kind of born to be like this AI guy. Like, for some
Yeah.
reason, it's just like a natural fit to me.
Yeah,
And I prefer it. I mean, I like having teams of writers under me, but that's expensive. So it's
Yeah,
just
you've
great.
you had the knowledge and experience when it arrived, and then you probably
Yeah.
also have the, desire to automate more or to make it
Um,
easier.
I did it out of necessity because it was just like it was here and I had to crack it open. I had to figure it out because it's either that or hire more people or bleed money in that direction. But in my case, I mean, it was absolutely out of necessity. I was not necessarily an AI guy to begin with. It was just pressure that made me kind of do it.
that's right.
Now, I guess with the mastermind, is it um sounds expensive if you've got all these high end guys in. It's probably one of these higher priced masterminds, yeah?
It's just $2,000 for lifetime access to it. That's it.
Oh, well that's sick.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Harris, we
Uh,
should join.
No shit.
I mean, people when they join, they're like, "I don't know why I didn't join before. I've seen you doing stuff for months," and they're like,
I
"Holy
mean,
crap!"
probably because they were thinking what I'm thinking, which is, it sounds like it's worth 25 grand a year, you know?
It's really my side thing, like or it has been since the beginning. I got other
Yeah,
things
yeah, I
going on
know.
here,
You're
so
AI
I'm not like
Santa. AI
yeah,
Santa
yeah.
talking about Black Friday.
A lot of it's about goodwill and stuff like that, and just getting a following, like getting a hardcore following, and
Yeah.
also just the mastermind. Like I like learning a lot, so I don't know if I keep the price where it's at, I can attract people who are successful and serious to come in, but not necessarily be just out of reach.
So Lubosi's asking what software do we use to do animated subtitles, usually on YouTube Shorts. I use Descript a lot, and a lot of people use what CapCut. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
You know what, Lubosi? I wanna just say thanks for being such a continual fan of the Tellman and Fellman show and frequently jumping in and making comments and asking questions. And I want to give you a copy of Automatic Audience just for being cool and showing up and interacting. So it looks like you're following us on YouTube. So go connect up with me, Tellman Knudsen, or Harris Fellman on Facebook. and send us a direct message, and I will be sure to hook you up with a copy of Automatic Audience as a way of saying thank you
Did you
for
send
that.
did you send that one? I'm gonna get you on camera. Did you send the one to the person from,
I
when you were
totally
at the
didn't. I
hurricane?
totally didn't.
Okay. I
Yeah,
mean,
I totally didn't.
you were midway in the hurricane, but we need to do
Yeah,
that.
no, I could get those both done today. That'd be great.
Yeah. So
Put me on the
Bosie, send us
spot.
something, yo.
I see how it is. That's cool. That's cool. So, Jason, who have you seen that AI copywriting is definitely not for?
Hmm.
Like what types of people are not do not seem to work well with the kind of stuff that you're doing?
Um, I don't really know how to answer that in like a short answer, but I think that there's this sort of ladder of copywriting happening right now, or AI. So if you're just using the general stuff, you're getting this kind of generalized output that people barf when they see that kind of thing. And then above that, you get sort of like a templated kind of output. And if you're using that, like there's some templated solutions out there that people could use who don't have to necessarily know copy or anything like that. And then above that is more like an organic kind of conversational tier of the ladder. At the very top, I think is our goal is always like AI that's authentically you, that is really an extension of you. It's your brain into AI, rather than just being conversational or templated. It's like I don't know what you'd call it. It's not like you're a cyborg because it's not robotic, but you're like an
But it's
AI cyborg.
close to cloning your consciousness into a computer. I mean, it's not quite there, but like if you can take as many of your recorded memories or digitally recorded memories of you, which is like we're creating one right now of all of us, right? Like we're creating a
Yeah.
digitally recorded memory of us for the internet. Like you feed enough of that in, and it's going to start getting a fairly good idea of who you are. I would suspect.
I'd be afraid of what a lot of people's only internet version of themselves would be, like
Actually, this is really interesting. Like, you know how, I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever considered this, but I often consider the difference in the way that we perceive ourselves and other people perceive us. And often there's a vast, vast difference
really.
between how other people perceive you and how you perceive yourself, right? And what this just one of our back in the day, we created a mascot for Mind Movies, and it crushed. They still use it. Called Magic. It was called Mirror Mirror, right? Mirror, comma mirror, and it was essentially the magic mirror from Snow White, right? And so we'd send this out from Mirror Mirror, and it had a GIF that with these words that appeared on this like old antique looking mirror. But I just thought about this idea of creating an AI mirror and actually creating a digital version of yourself to
Yeah.
actually give you real feedback on like how you're showing up and how other
Yeah.
people think of you and like how you come across in a honest way and giving you the type of criticism that you give to other people like
Yeah.
or anyway that would be
Yeah.
really good, like get real advice from yourself.
Yeah. That would be super cool. You could actually,
Criticize myself
yeah,
enough.
you
I
can
don't
do.
know if I
Yeah,
want
that's
my
right.
AI doing that
That's
too.
right.
Jesus.
There's
But
there's things called vector databases. I don't know if ever heard of that, but they're massive databases that you could build. You can store anything you want pretty much, like down into tiny bytes. I'm just trying to explain it in kind of like a way that anyone can understand. But you could, I don't think you could like take your brain and put it in this database, but
not yet.
you
Yeah.
could essentially, you could load it up day by day with as much as you want, and it could fit into that database. And this particular database, like there's AI is very good at recalling what's in that, even though it's
Right.
massive. So you can hook it up to AI like an agent
Right.
of some kind, and it would do kind of like a elementary version of what you're talking about. It wouldn't be your brain in there, but it would be
Well,
massive amounts of data points.
but if you had 10,000 hours of recorded webinars, audios,
Yeah,
podcasts, and videos of you yapping or something
yeah,
like this, right? All the books and or emails and or blog posts that you've ever created, like that's a starting point, right?
yeah, yeah.
But
Absolutely,
Um,
man.
it's not you. It's only a mirror of you.
that's right.
The
Okay.
AI mirror.
Relax.
That's right. So when we're thinking about AI and writing copy and all these different levels. I'm curious about, and you may have already kind of explained this with those levels, but um, AI, copy, and social media,
Yeah.
and the and presumably now or in the not too distant future, email. You know, what are you seeing in terms of algorithm blocking of AI produced content, and is that an issue at the level that you're working out with people, or is it a non-issue? Like, what are you seeing?
I don't think that's a major issue right now. I think the major issue is like if you have a brand or a personality that you've built up over the years and then you use AI and it destroys that across your business, then that's a problem. It's more about that than like getting penalized in some kind of way on
So,
socials. I
so,
don't see
so,
anyone
so
getting like
being
Yeah, I
on
don't see that
brand and
happening
on
even with
point.
I don't even see that happening with email. Email is reacting to who opens and clicks and engages and responds. They don't. I don't think they care too much about the words. I listened to a podcast called Hard Fork, and a couple episodes ago they talked about AI slop. So like now there's so much content getting out there that obviously some of it is fine, but a lot of it is just like
yeah.
it's a different word. It's I think of it as a different word other than spam. I think that's where I started thinking,
Slop is a good word. I
maybe
like
I
that.
don't want to take 10 Opus clips and spit them out.
Create more AI slop.
But the
Right.
truth of the matter is that is how people that's how people consume. Like they're just look, 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 look. So if I'm only going to put out one little 10-minute video a day, and I could be putting out 10, whatever. I mean, uh, then they're not going to see me. It's the same idea as like. We're people are shocked when we say you should send one email a day, and you just said two, and on the third day you should send three in a day. What?
Max.
And
If
and
you
then it's
can
like,
handle it.
well, you know, I mean, look at how people are consuming things. How
Yeah.
w
There's that I think about what you're saying all the time with AI and whatnot because it's gonna create or it probably already is creating like an explosion of content. But
Noise.
that's one
Yeah.
reason why I think it's important to create what I call authentic AI that just is more or less an extension of you,
Right.
of your authentic self, because I think you can cut straight through the noise, the slop, and you can even cut through a lot of other stuff too, like templated sort of AI. But if
yeah,
you
I
have
mean I
something
mean,
that's an
short
extension of you that just puts yourself on steroids, that's kind of what we're talking about.
right, I mean, that's what we're doing. Like, we have humans on camera, and then we're just using AI to basically put out clips rather than, "Hey, take this transcript and make" well, what we I have been thinking about taking the transcript and putting it in, Notes LM and getting, the AI, discussion podcast that's
Yeah.
10 minutes for each one. I mean, that's a pretty nice engaging
Cool.
summary.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess I wouldn't consider that slop because it's taken, authentic content and made it more quickly accessible.
Digestible. Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
slop if it's riddled with, typical AI terms and phrases and keywords, which I ban from my bots. Like it bans that stuff. But
Okay.
the source material, like you're saying, can be very important with that to make it more like that's probably half the equation if you want to do like that. But a lot
Yeah.
of AI is really for me is like letting AI do that work too. Like I said, with creating the benefit matrices and stuff
Well,
like
but
that.
here's the thing. Here's the way you're creating the unique, your unique material. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the way that you're pouring the unique material in from your brain is through lengthy, complex prompts
Yeah.
and rules and essentially
Huge.
probably a whole bunch of if then type thinking and statements so that you're putting the time, effort, and energy into writing. You're still writing. You're still writing the prompts in order and thinking through the strategy behind creating this much more sophisticated AI. Um, it sounds like you're still putting the energy into writing. It's just like you're putting it into something that then opens way up more than.
Well, I keep it okay. So everything I write, I look at it like an extension of myself, and that includes any kind of prompt writer that I would create. So my prompt writer is based on my prompts that I hand wrote. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like you're able to leverage yourself like that, but I try to look at it authentically. Like you're saying, it feels. I'm a creative person. It feels creative what I'm doing. The way I do it's creative. It's like it's more or less a second brain for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like so I've because I'm listening to I guess whatever. This podcast that we're doing, and you know, and Hard Fork, and just other influences. I am a little concerned that I'm like losing my thinking capacity sometimes. Like I'm like, "Oh, I'll just have AI do it. I'll just have AI
Yeah,
do
it
it. You know?
becomes more and more of a crutch
Yeah, yeah.
all the time.
So that's, I mean, and I'm not even doing it at the level you are, but I'm also thinking, for you know get one of your bots and write something sounds a lot better than like, trying to write the whole thing. And then,
Everything's heading in this direction. Like
what?
Neuralink, Elon Musk's Neuralink and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Everything's heading in this direction where you're just leveraging almost like you have something that's part of you that's but outside of you at the same time.
Yeah, people don't
Well,
like
I mean, the
that. Not
internet. I
everybody
mean,
likes it.
the internet is that, right?
Yeah.
There's more
Mhm.
separation, but like it's pretty close.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, if you look around, if you really look around, you can see how everything is more integrated than you really thought. Like if you have Roombas, you have robots in your house already, for example. If you
Right.
have Alexa, you already have audio AI that you're talking to. It's just everything's going to be leveling up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have AI bots that you're using and you're like, okay, I'm relying on these too much for my thinking, well, in the future, you're going to have a damn implant in your brain that does it.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
That it'll feel like thinking.
yeah, it's just going to be an extension
So,
of you.
I'm
so,
so smart now.
but Jason, how do you deal with, or do you just ignore that idea of AI becoming a crutch? Are you just so focused on learning how to use the tool and mastery over the tool that you're finding enormous mind expansion in yourself rather than it becoming a way for you to be lazy? Or like, what's your relationship to it? Like,
I don't really worry about that. I mean, I think it's a blessing because it's like I said, the way I do it's an extension of me. And if you think about in the past before AI, I was always using like thesaurus.com, for example, to find the right word.
right.
But this is just thesaurus.com times 1 million. You know
1,000.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Right.
Yeah, like writers are always using books of, I'm looking at swipe files and stuff like that all the time before. I'm still doing that. But, I have note cards with headlines all over them. Well, I mean, a lot of the processes that I would just do anyway, I tried to turn into just AI processes that happen, boom, now instead of days, for example, creative
And,
processes.
and what are the AI copywriting tools that you use, not the ones that, not what did you develop, but
Yeah.
what are the publicly available tools, free or paid, that you actively use and are kind of like working with every day?
Just, I mean, LLMs, I mean, in general, like Claude is probably the best one for copywriters right now, I think.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think GPT-5 will be better, but if you're just going to go use a random tool, I think Claude's probably the best.
Yeah.
Is Claude doing the thinking thing too already with the like 401?
It's capable of doing, I mean, there's so many uses, like it's mind blowing of AI
Wait,
because,
what's 401? What are you talking about?
GPT 401
Oh,
has
oh, oh, yeah.
like this thinking.
well, GPT-5 will be like more autonomous than it is now. So everything's moving toward autonomy, AI. So like
When
my
you say
In
mastermind
what
autonomy,
is
way?
when you say
Explain that. Yeah.
autonomy, you're saying that the thinking aspect, that before answering you
yeah.
like that, they're gonna
Well,
iterate it a little bit themselves. But then, yeah,
I mean like
autonomy would be, hey, create a script for me. Great, now go install it. And they'll say, oh, it didn't
yeah.
work. Let me fix it. But
So Claude can already take over your computer and just start doing things for you based on command. I
really,
mean, for example, but I think as a copywriter, for example, here's an example of autonomy that I can see happening is that you create some kind of agent and then it literally just writes for you all day. And then you go and you mine what you like and you publish it
Yeah, all
without
right.
the,
So for, I know we talked about this on our last call, but for those who are brand new to start, using AI for copywriting or maybe using AI at all, can you please explain what an agent is and what makes an agent different than Chat GPT, for example?
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like there should be different terminology among what an agent is because they can be so robust, like the brain we were talking about, that would be like the mirror. That would be probably like one of the most advanced agents, because it has a massive database, is able to do all this.
super agent.
Uh, yeah, yeah, and an agent can answer emails for you, or it has a little bit more of autonomous nature to it typically, or it's just pre-programmed like a GPT. I think is technically like a weak agent. Like a just normal GPT would be like an example of an agent down here. But then you can have massive agents up here that will.
So the bots that you create, they're doing stuff sometimes.
So, but when you create an
Autonomous.
agent, are you saying that
Well,
creating an agent is the same as creating a custom GPT in Chat GPT, or is that not what you're saying?
that'd
Like,
be like
where is
the
the
lowest.
agent built? Like, where does it
Yeah.
exist?
Yeah, I mean there's things like if you use something like vector shift, you can build a really robust, like massive pipeline based agent that has tons of databases and like can take copy like it could write if you built the right thing, it could write your whole book and like chapters that we're talking about.
Okay, so would an agent be built on an agent building platform that can potentially loop into Claude, ChatGPT,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Midjourney or something? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
is that what an agent means? Is it can use multiple resources
An
in
a
order to?
an agent sounds like AI term for program. Like instead of saying it's a we developed a program, we developed an agent. So it sounds to me kind of like that, where
Well,
it could be
it's
just
so
some rudimentary thing. No, okay, go ahead.
it's such a massive scope. I feel like there should be different terms for what an agent is, but
Well,
like
according
an
to you and
agent,
how you use them, just through your
yeah.
interpretation. Yeah.
Yeah, like an LLM for example can be connected into a massive pipeline with like a lot of other things within an agent. But it's an LLM is always part of an agent. I'll
What
say
does
that.
LLM stand for?
Large language
Large.
model. That's
Yeah,
the
like
whole
Claude
category.
and OpenAI and all that and like GPT and there's a ton of them. But yeah, like it's such a massive scope to say what an agent is. I'm not really sure how to explain it like in a couple minutes, but
So how is it
very
not
simply.
like what I just said? How is it not like, oh, I developed this agent, I developed this computer program?
Uh well, I
It's a
don't know.
set of instructions.
It's not an application, but uh it typically involves like an LLM. It can involve big databases. It can involve uh just things strung together, like processes strung together. So once it does this thing, it moves on to the next automatically, on to the next automatically. Like it can read an email and then respond to it based on a database full of information
Cool.
automatically. So you see major corporations using it right now. They're all turning to AI because they don't have to hire anybody anymore. Like
I know that
customer service
somebody I
agent.
know somebody that sold his VA company, and then all of a sudden, the emails that I started getting are from his agent. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, "I saw the writing on the wall a couple years ago." So,
It's
yeah.
important to embrace it, I think, and use it because, like, if you're like a robot's going to take your job or AI is going to take your job, AI is going to take your job online as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure. I mean
so
I
you
mean,
just,
I more try to think about how can I get the AIs working for me rather than, "Oh, no, they're gonna take my job." But,
yeah, exactly.
or, maybe I stop like, are there any, like, s do this bot and make money? Like, I mean, I have a friend that's got, well, maybe Smart AI with an I, it's Jeff Mills. But basically, there's a bunch of them out there. There's Phoenix
Yeah,
is another one,
hard to
and
keep up.
it does like outbound. The AI, well, no, does the AI do outbound? I guess the AI could do outbound if it wanted to, and then when somebody responds to the first message, then it starts talking to them until it gets them. It brings them down. He calls it
Yeah,
a chat funnel, basically.
cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's an example of an agent for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, geez, this was great. Jason, is there anything else you want to share about what you're thinking about working on, or any advice you have for people that are looking to up level their business and their copywriting game with AI?
Just immerse yourself in it, I think, because it's just going to keep going in that direction, and it's going to go into the direction of autonomy. And I don't like to be one of these fear mongers. So I'm not going to say you're going to be left behind. I really don't like that kind of advertising, so I'm not going to say that. But just from a
Well, listen,
positive,
my
heavenly
my
kind of
my
look.
my daughter works for a major corporation, and they, I mean, she's an intern, so but they pull them in and they talked about AI, and they're like, you have to our feeling about AI is yes, you need to use it or you're going to get left behind. And
Got to.
then left behind might not, but then again, if it's going to deliver everything that it promises and it's autonomous, then it'll be a lot easier to implement than
Yeah.
something I said when you were gone, Talman, was like I'm less worried about AI taking my job, and I'm more interested in figuring out how to get AI working
Right.
for me. Like that,
Exactly.
like it does feel a little slave labory for me, though.
Well,
It's a
well,
little.
it's the interest. Well, yeah, it is. It does feel slave labor. It is interesting because if people are worried about AI taking their jobs, then the issue is that for the expense, the AI is producing more value than you are, and that's why you're losing your job. Is because there's now a robot that can do what you used to do more efficiently than you can, right?
Yeah.
And so, if that's the case, then the question you should be asking yourself is how can I do a better job than I can right now with AI so I can get a raise? Right?
Makes sense.
Ask yourself how can you make more money by doing a better job or another job better by utilizing AI rather than biting your nails and running away in any industry. But however it's applying, copywriting is obviously one of many, many, many different applications of AI. And
Yeah.
programmers,
Yeah.
graphic designers, like all these people are in one way in jeopardy of losing their jobs. At the same time, the opportunity is become an AI master and do your job 10 times faster and 10 times better, right?
I'm sure there's plenty of nobody watching this show probably, but I'm sure there's plenty of people. Just to make sure that we're not void of compassion. There's definitely places where
We are
that doesn't.
completely
There's
void of
people in
compassion
places
on the
that
Tellman Fellman show.
that sorry, we're doing it. Um, there's certainly I guess for those people that are in roles that like that doesn't even make sense. I think it's fair to start saying the writing's on the wall, and you should be looking at other training yourself in other ways, or becoming an entrepreneur, or becoming getting a side hustle. That involves leveraging AI because it's so readily available. I'm really interested in diving into Claude. I keep hearing you mention it, and a couple of other people have mentioned it. So I didn't realize that it had an autonomous side of it where it can do stuff on my computer.
That's
That's
brand new.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say there's a word for everything we're talking about here, and if you look at it in opportunity, like it's never been easier to become a full stack marketer than it is right now. Like a full stack marketer, I don't know if that's a term that is widely used by everybody, but it just means you're kind of a jack of all trades, but you're good at it. And CMOs and whatnot are always looking for a full stack marketer, because the problem is that like especially ones that are successful, but they happen to be bleeding money on ads, for example. Like they have their copywriter and they have a media buyer, and then they have this other guy, and they're all pointing fingers at each other while the ship's going down. But if you become a full stack marketer, you could do all of it.
or
You
at
know,
least
you
have
have,
enough
You do Facebook?
understanding.
You do
Yeah,
media buying for your clients?
I don't do media buying. I'm just saying,
No.
like it's easier to become a full stack marketer. Media buying
Yeah.
is becoming more about the copy itself and the conversions, because it's doing a lot of the optimization for you now. It's at least on the top of the funnel, but
sure.
Hey, before we wrap it up, I just wanted to recap the where we started, which was the Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff. So just a reminder for everybody that's offer and bonus. You want to have your discount and bonus. Sorry, your offer should be a discount and bonus, or some really great deal, the best deal of the year. And then you're going to want to do 3 campaigns that are 3 to 4 days. There's the get in camera. The pre Black Friday, the Black Friday, and the Cyber Monday, and then if you've got an excuse to extend Cyber Money, I like it.
I like
Cyber
that.
Monday, a couple of days. Of course, that's fine. And then you want to try to do it on 2 tracks. So that's your customers and your subscribers, or your
Mhm.
VIP customers and your customers, depending on how you built your list.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to do the recap there, and then yeah, if you go to jasonparker.ai, you'll see links to his AI agent building mastermind, which we've talked about. You can also just join his 105,000 person Facebook group. What's it called now? You change it
AI
to regular
shortcuts. I haven't been in there at all
AI
lately.
shortcuts. Okay, but
Yeah.
it's
I've all but abandoned it. So
you've
but you can join
okay.
if you
Well,
want.
and then you can also hire Jason to do custom agent building service do custom agent. I didn't know about. We didn't talk about that. We won't talk about that.
Yeah,
Next.
that's an idea for the future. I'm actually not even really selling that right now. Just
Well,
mainly doing
if someone wants to give Jason $100,000 to do it, he might figure out a way to do a custom
maybe.
agent for you. He might build a
Maybe so.
custom agent for you. All right, there you go.
I'll do it.
Nice.
I
Cool.
get 10%.
That's right. Jason, this is fantastic. Thanks for coming back to the Tellman Fellman show.
Hey, you bet. It was fun. All right.
So,
By the way, I threw that number out there, but I totally feel like that'd be worth it. Like for a lot of businesses, like, you know.
I think I see some people charging like 2,500 per, to build an agent or something like
Okay.
that. Or a lot of companies that I've seen are doing like $2,500 per month kind of subscriptions to their services, their agent building services.
Okay.
So if you do learn to build agents, you can offer that. I mean, that's another opportunity.
there are options. That's cool. That's cool. Awesome. So, scale of 1 to 10, Jason, how was your experience today on the Tellman Fellman show?
10 out of 10.
Nice. Now, you helped to spark something kind of nice that has been cool, but we have yet to follow through on it, which is you nominated Charles to be on the Tellman and Fellman show.
Yeah, I did. I forgot about that.
Get him.
I'll tell him.
Got to get him.
Yeah, you bet. He'll have a lot. He's brilliant. So, like I said, he always knows what's going on.
We've announced it publicly now that he's going to be on the show, and we have to get him scheduled.
Yeah, but now we're asking everybody at the end of every show to nominate one person. So you've already nominated.
You already
nominated Charles, so we're not asking you again. But yeah,
let's double down on it. Yeah,
you inspired us.
Awesome.
Yeah, throw a net out and capture that Kirkland and drag him on in.
Sounds good. He'll do it.
Cool.
Nice.
Or we won't be friends anymore. That's what I'll tell him.
That's right.
Shit.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
Dude,
you heard
just
it
tell
here.
him he's gonna get kicked out of your mastermind if he doesn't.
Yeah, you're gonna X him off the podcast.
We actually have some openings next week if he wants to get on it.
Nice.
All right. Cool. This was totally awesome, Jason. I'm really looking forward to joining your mastermind and learning a lot more about AI agents and copywriting bots and all the cool stuff you have.
I don't want to learn shit. I just want to use the bots, baby.
All right, rock and roll.
That's my way. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for coming back on, Jason. I really appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you, Harris. And see you all on Monday. Toodaloo.
Monday. Not Cyber Monday.